The following is a presentation of Big Polly's World of Sports Sims. I'm Big Polly, and I approve this message. Big Polly's World of Sports Sims presents the Hometown Football League using Action PC Football 2020. Welcome to the latest edition of the HTFL, the Hometown Football League. Today we go to Houston, Texas. It's the New York Giants battling the Houston Oilers. New York, a combination of the Giants, Jets, Brooklyn Dodgers, New York Yankees, New York Bulldogs. All the New York teams. Houston, a combination of the Oilers and the more recent Houston Texans. But they decided to call the team the Houston Oilers in favor of the original Houston AFL team, which became an NFL team. We're indoors at Reliant Stadium. Houston, I will be controlling since they are the home team. 70 degrees, calm, no wind. Of course, indoors. New York won the toss and elected to defer, so Houston's got the choice. They will receive. Eli Manning and Warren Moon, your quarterbacks. Bill Parcells and Bum Phillips will be your coaches. Levias back deep for Houston in the kind of like the light blue, the Houston Oilers, and New York wearing their white jerseys and blue numbering and lettering. Levias will take it in the end zone for a touchback, and it'll be 1st and 10 at the 20 for the Oilers. Campbell and Cannon are your running backs for Houston. Johnson and Hopkins at wideout. Daniels at tight end. Moon at quarterback out of Washington in the CFL. Jameson, Matthews, Myers, Munchak, and Brown, your offensive line. For New York, a very talented defense. Strahan and Gastineau at defensive ends. Weinmeister, Taylor. Weinmeister is the lone defensive tackle. I forgot that New York plays a 3-4. Your linebackers, oh, what a crew this is. Taylor, Huff, Carson, Lewis. Rivas and Glenn are your corners. Patton and Sanders, Beck Sanders, will be your safeties. And on 1st and 10, Houston's going to pound the rock, go trap left with Earl Campbell. I think the Houston strategy is going to just play it slow. Kind of like you might remember the New York Giants playing Buffalo in Super Bowl 25. They just played a ball control game and just kept the high-octane offense of Buffalo that day off the ground. That was a game I went to, Super Bowl 25. Easily the best sporting experience I've ever had in my lifetime, that game. And on 2nd and 6, Campbell will dive. Campbell should see a lot of carries today. And look at Earl Campbell break through. A gain of 49. Against Jacksonville last week, he ran for 146, and so far he's got 2 carries, 53 yards, and we're only a minute into the game. They'll go to a double tight end set and give it to Billy Cannon. Sweep to the right. A marker down before the play.
False start. Offense. Number 76, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 1st down.
And they get Brown for a false start. Move it back 5. 1st and 15 now at the Giant 32. The Giants come into this game undefeated. Houston coming into the game with a win against Jacksonville last week, a blowout win. So this will be a very strong test for them. Back to Earl Campbell, sweep to the right on 1st and 15. And Campbell's got himself some more yards. How about 5? Lawrence Taylor on the tackle. That's the only kind of matchup that you would see in HTFL football. Lawrence Taylor tackling Earl Campbell. A stretch play to Billy Cannon on 2nd and 10. So again, I think you're going to see Houston run the ball a lot today. I know because I'm kind of coaching them. Run to the right, 2 yards. Lewis pancakes him. And now it's 3rd and 8. And this would be a situation where the Oilers are going to throw. Medium hitch to Andre Johnson here on 3rd down. Caught, but we have a marker down. Might be holding.
Encroachment.
It is not.
Number 92, 5-yard penalty.
Michael Strahan was holding a talk show on the line of scrimmage. He gets called for encroachment. The penalty will be declined, and it's 1st and goal to go for Houston at the 5. Trap left, Earl Campbell. Earl Campbell gets a touchdown. The Texas Longhorn puts Houston on the board very quickly. And it's 6-0. point after try is good. And Houston leads New York 7-0. Christie back deep for the Giants. Of course, a combination of Giants, Jets, Bulldogs, Yankees, and Brooklyn Dodgers. And that's a return for Christie of 17 yards to the 28. We will set the offense fast for you for New York. Barber and Snell at running back, Beckham Jr. and Powell at wideout, Castor at tight end, Manning, your quarterback out of Ole Miss. That's Eli Manning, not Peyton Manning. Brown, Snee, Mangold, Younts, and Powell, your offensive line. For Houston's defense, we have Watt and Williams, Watt being, of course, the Houston Texan, at defensive end. Childress and Curly Culp at defensive tackle. Brazel, Ryans, and Webster, your linebackers, your three linebackers. Houston plays the more conventional 4-3. New York's the only team in the HTFL currently playing a 3-4. Farr and Hicks, your corners. Bishop and Reinfeldt, your safeties. 1st and 10, ball to 28, as I alluded to. Throw, and that's complete to Castor. He gains 11. Manning had a great game against Buffalo last week, throwing for 344 yards, 24 out of 37, 2 touchdowns. 1st and 10, ball to 39. Give to Barber. He loses a yard. Curly Culp comes up and introduces himself to him. 2nd and 11 at the 38 now. A screen to Snell, and Snell will pick up 6. Webster on the tackle for Houston. Sauer and Russell will come in the game. Sauer at running back and Russell as a tight end. So they have 3 wide and a different tight end in the game. Rich Castor was getting a little tired. 3rd and 5 at the 44, getting a little worn down. Houston decides to call time. They have 2 timeouts left, the remainder of the half. 3rd and 5 at the 44. We get this play snapped. A quick pass to Beckham. He gains 12. There was a fumble, but Beckham picked it right back up. And Farr drilled him. I guess you'll get credit for the tackle, and it'll be 1st and 10 at the Houston Oiler 44 with 9:42 left in the opening quarter. The give is to Barber, no gain. 2nd and 10, ball to 44. That's a run by Barber, and that's a very nice run for Barber for a touchdown. So a game of can you top this has developed between Earl Campbell and Tiki Barber. Here's the point after try, good, by Nugent, and it's 7-7. We have 8:11 left in the opening quarter. Levias back deep for Houston yet again, and it's 4 yards deep in the end zone, so he just takes a knee, bring it out to the 20. Double tight end set. Again, Houston really wants to focus on running the ball and pounding the rock and controlling the clock. Didn't mean for that to rhyme, but hey, it worked. Campbell, off tackle left. Houston also looking for New York to put 8 men in the box so they could look for good situations to throw. And such a situation has developed here, so we will go medium fly to Owen Daniels on 2nd down. There's the throw. It's incomplete. It was a dump off instead to Billy Cannon, and Houston will go to 3 wide on 3rd and 9. They'll go to Hennigan on a medium slant. That throw was incomplete. Joe Klecko of the New York Sack Exchange, those New York Jet teams that were so good in the early 80s, got a finger on it, incomplete. So now Houston will have to punt on 4th down, and New York should get good field position. Here's Jim Norton. And it's going to be a nice return, 25 yards for Tennell, all the way to the Houston 38. We have 7:09 left in the opening quarter. It's still 7-7. As each team scored on their opening possession. The Houston failed to score on their second, and the Giants working on their second possession. 1st and 10 at the 38. See it there. Manning was looking for Russell, Jack Russell. not to be confused with the Jack Russell who was a baseball player. And I said this the last time New York played, I'm sure. There's a Jack Russell Stadium in Clearwater where the Clearwater Phillies and the Philadelphia Phillies used to hold spring training, and that was not named for this Jack Russell. There was a Jack Russell who was a baseball player. 2nd and 10 at the 38. The throw and a catch. Manning throws it to Powell, Art Powell, and he gains 18 yards. Hicks on the tackle for Houston. And it's 1st and 10 in the 20, and New York already at the Houston red zone. Manning throws. That's a touchdown to Matt Snell, the hero of Super Bowl III. Against Baltimore, the game that nobody thought the Jets would win, and Joe Namath guaranteed victory. 13-7, so we'll wait for Nugent's point after. It looks like it's good. It is. 14-7 New York, and New York has answered the bell after Houston got the early touchdown. 6:15 left to go in the first quarter, and Houston has now given up 2 touchdowns in a minute 56. Levias again back deep for the 3rd time this quarter, and this time he's going to run it out. He's only a yard deep. And Levias gets out to the 24 for a return of 25. Base formation this time for Houston, Earl Campbell, trap left. And now the Giants keying in on Campbell. He only got back to the line, did Campbell there. Harry Carson made the tackle. They'll go double tight end and use Campbell yet again. Trap left. And this time, again, if it holds,
Holding.
but it won't.
Offense, number 55.
Myers called for
penalty.
holding. And that's going to be 2nd down and 20. They'll go to Cannon on a screen. A short pass will make it on 2nd and 20. Incomplete. So Houston tries to throw underneath the coverage and hope to make something happen where they could beat some defensive backs, but that was not the case there. 3rd and 20. So again, another 3rd and long situation for the Oilers. Will go long fly to DeAndre Hopkins. It's caught, but short of the first. And Haynes made the tackle. Haynes was the nickelback in the game, not to be confused with the pop band. A 17-yard gain. And it's 4th and 3 at the 31. Houston's going to punt. And Jim Norton back deep. Fair caught by Tennell. He gains nothing. Of course, on a fair catch, you're not supposed to run it. It's a punt of 43 yards. 4:15 left. First quarter, it's 14-7 Giants, and they're looking for more here on 1st and 10 from the 26. To Barber. Barber with 2 yards. And it's now 4 carries, 45 yards for Tiki. 2nd and 8 at the 28. Of course, his twin brother Rondé, a Buccaneer great. 8-yard gain as Barber was the recipient of a pass from Manning. Brazel makes the tackle, and it's a 1st and 10 for New York at their own 36. As we get closer to the end of the first quarter, this is to Powell. Manning to Powell for 11. Hicks on the tackle. 1st and 10, ball at the 47. This time a sack. Ray Childress, introduces himself to Eli. And it's now 2nd and 15 at the 42 with 2:03 left in the opening quarter. Throw and a catch to Odell Beckham Jr., the flashy Giant wideout of recent years, now playing with Cleveland. He gained 17. He had a 100-yard receiving game last week against Buffalo. Picked up 110 yards on 6 carries. Now it's 1st and 10 at the 41 of Houston. Barber, a gain of a yard. 2nd and 9. Ball at the 40-yard line. This could be the last play of the quarter, depending on what happens. It's to Snell. Snell with running room. He gains 12, and that'll end the first quarter. It's 14-7 New York. Back with you to start the second quarter. Don't forget to check out the latest installment of the OOTP Perfect Team Series, Part 44. I put that up this morning. have a nice little surprise for you. I have my all-time high shopping spree today with the perfect points. I had 23,000 points that I had to use to pick players. I could have let it accrue, but I just chose not to. First and 10, ball to 28 for the Giants. They lead 14-7, but you knew that already. Manning, touchdown to Powell. And it's 20-7, and here's the point after try. Good by Nugent. And this New York team, they are going to be double tough to beat in the HTFL. They lead now 21-7 with 14:51 left. We have just begun the second quarter. Levias for the fourth time back deep for Houston. And this will be returned 19 yards to 21. Brad Van Pelt, number 10, made the tackle for the Giants. And now Houston with work cut out for them. But they're going to stick to the running game, at least for now. Trap left with Campbell and a gain of 2. Houston had not Houston, but New York had 8 in the box on that play. Second and 8. And mine's all over the place right now. Ball at the 23. They again go left side to Campbell. Glenn on the tackle for New York. A gain of 5. Third down and 3. They will go double tight, and they will trap it right with Earl Campbell. Try to run away from the traffic on that New York defense. This time it's a gain of 5, and it's now 9 carries, 78 yards on the day for Earl Campbell. Billy Cannon will run the ball now, sweep to the right, as New York's keying on that trap play. You see it lit up there in the kind of orange-ish pink. Trap left, trap right, so Houston will not be able to run that play for a while without penalty. Pitch to the left, Earl Campbell on 2nd and 8. And this will be a nice gain for Campbell. He gains 9 yards, and Gastineau has injured his neck. His return is probable, and he will go out of the game. And Jason Pierre-Paul out of the University of South Florida, who eventually moved to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is in at the other defensive end opposing Michael Strahan. First and 10 at the 44. Run left, Billy Cannon. And Cannon, despite the fact that that was the left side of the Houston defense, was congested as New York keeps bringing 8 men into the box. He gains 10 yards. It'll just be short of the first down. Now an influence play to the right, and Earl Campbell will carry it, or so we hope. On 2nd and inches, he gets the first down and a gain of a yard. Jason Pierre-Paul makes the stop for the Giants with 10:40 left. Campbell getting a little winded. Let's see who we could bring in to replace him. How about Hoyle Granger? And we will use him on a trap right on 1st and 10. And Granger picks up 4 yards. I was watching old AFL video on YouTube, and I heard Charlie Jones, one of the great voices that has now since passed us, would call Hoyle Granger that name. And so I'm using that as his pronunciation, hoping that that is the case. And if not, somebody on YouTube, please correct me. Off tackle right, Granger on 2nd and 6. I'm going to drive some of you crazy with that pronunciation, I know. Pierre-Paul makes the tackle. Pierre-Paul's been very busy in his substitution for Gastineau. And the Oilers lose a yard. It's going to be 3rd and 7 at the 42. We'll go Johnson short out on 3rd and 7. 3 wides in the game. Incomplete. And Klecko, another New York Jet, leaving the game. Well, no, it was an undisclosed injury, and he's going to stay in. Houston's only thrown it 6 times, and they have completed 2 passes. Manning off to a hot start, 9 out of 10 for a $131. Houston has run 22 plays, 16 of them rushes. New York has run 16 plays, 10 of those rushes. 4th and 7. A little too far out to punt, so Norton's going to try to soft shoe it to the coffin corner, and that goes out of bounds at the 9. So the Giants take over, 8:27 to go, and look at this. Odell Beckham Jr. behind center, and they're going to go direct snap to him. Manning is the wideout on the left side of the ball. So let's see what happens here. This should be interesting. And a draw play by Beckham, and he gains 13. Giants back in their normal formation now. 1st and 10, ball to 22. Tiki Barber gains 1 yard and 1 yard only. Ryan's on the stop for Houston, who now trail by 14, of course. 21-7. You got 7:32 left in the half. 2nd and 9. Barber straight ahead, and he gains 16. Bishop makes the stop. It's now 1st and 10, ball to 39. Manning will throw. It's caught by Beckham. Beckham gains 31. 6:05 left in the opening half. 21-7 Giants. They're looking for more. Ball to 30 for a 1st and 10. They give it to Snell. Snell picks up 3. Webster on the stop. 2nd and 7. Ball to 27. They give to Barber again. New York's going to lose for a few plays. Art Powell. And they will bring in... No, Powell's going to stay in. Looks like Powell is staying in. 3rd and 4. Ball to 24. To number 83, Sauer. And Manning now red hot, 11 for 12, 172 yards. Maybe they have another wide receiver on New York named Powell. I'm pretty sure we dealt with this in former editions. Well, anyway, 1st and 10 at the 14, and I'm going to try to get this game going. I got Storms moving in. Touchdown, Odell Beckham Jr., and he's putting on a show in the end zone. All those fans from New York down here in Houston doing a little dancing and gyrating. Here's the point after try. Good, and all of a sudden New York has exploded for a 28-7 lead after trailing 7-0 at one point. Levias, again, back deep for Houston. I think this is the 5th kickoff return he has had, counting the opening
Illegal
kickoff.
block. Receiving team.
And this was a bad one for Houston, as Brazel gets called for an illegal block. So move Houston back to the 12. And now they're pretty much out of their game plan, where they're going to really have to think about start throwing the ball here. Granger is going to come out of the game. Campbell will come back in. And we will go to him, trap left. Gain of a little, 2 yards. And again, Houston having those trap plays keyed upon by by New York, I should say. Off tackle right, Campbell on 2nd and 8. Campbell getting a lot of work so far. He's at 13 carries, 93 yards. He's been the Houston offense so far. 3rd and 3. And let's see here. Dive play, Campbell on 3rd and 3. He's their offense right now, so why wouldn't you give it to him? A gain of 4 yards. Houston will let it go to 2 minutes. And they'll put their passing game in. They trail 28-7. Now this 1st down play, by the way, Houston has 2 timeouts left. The Giants have 3. Medium fly to Charlie Hennigan. Nice Irish name. Hennigan with the catch. He gains 8, and Houston will not call timeout. They will just go to the line, no huddle, to Johnson on a short out on 2nd and 2. That's caught. And he gets out of bounds. Glenn pushes him out. Made the 1st. And with 1:30 to go, it's a 1st and 10. Houston at their own 38. Medium hitch to Hopkins. This try. Moon will scramble instead. He gains 6. Haynes on the stop. And Houston's going to bang their 2nd timeout of the half. That will leave them with 1. So they will probably use a lot of no huddle here. Back to Hopkins on a medium fly on 2nd and 4. That's caught, but a marker down.
Pass interference.
Actually, it was not caught,
Defense. Number 36.
but they'll get
automatic.
Haynes
First down.
for pass interference. So it might as well just have been a catch. And it's 1st and 10 at the Giant 44. Houston on the move, and I'm trying to get this half moving. Screen to Campbell on 1st and 10. Incomplete. Moon kind of threw it ahead of Campbell there. We'll go medium pass to Daniels on 2nd and 10. A fumble. Who recovered it? Houston did.
Offense. Number 74, 10-yard penalty.
And that was a disaster of a play for Houston because not only did they lose 13 on the fumble, which was recovered by Jamison, but they committed a holding penalty. So Giants picked their poison and they decided to take the loss of yards on the play and not the penalty. So instead of 2nd and 20, it's 3rd and 23. Cab ride to Gillies Bar in Pasadena, Texas for Houston here. Johnson, long pass. Generic long pass. Deflected by Ward Cuff. And that was intended for Johnson, but incomplete. 4th and 23, the Oilers will have to punt. Here's Norton, as I hear the thunder rolling in my location.
Holding. Receiving team.
Lewis called for holding. Ball at the 5, so will the Giants do anything serious here with 51 seconds left in the half, up 21? Manning's going to throw. Completed to Beckham Jr., far on the tackle. Houston will not call a timeout, but will the Giants? No, they won't. 1st and 10 at the 18. Tiki Barber. Trap left, no gain. New York Giants 28, Houston 7. We'll be back for the second half right after this. And welcome back to the second half of play between New York and Houston. New York leading 28-7. The few seconds that have gone by as I record this was about a half hour in real time. And I was just listening to the latest episode of Digital to Dice, the podcast with Dave Gardner and Uncle Ron. And as I post this on July 17th, they have just put episode number 49 up. They are interviewing Jason Graham of the Flash Football board game. So if you're catching this video on or around the 29th, but the 17th of July, go ahead and check that out. That's what I was listening to while Mother Nature was doing its thing over here in Pinellas Park, Florida. But back to the game, it's 28-7 Giants, as I was saying. Giants with 288 yards of total offense, Houston with 159. Giants have run 26 plays, 14 of them passes. Houston has run 30 plays, 20 of them passes. Eli Manning, look at these numbers, 13 for 14, 199 yards and 3 touchdowns. Warren Moon, 4 for 10, 52 yards. No interceptions, no touchdowns. Houston has run it 20 times, 120 yards as a team. New York has run it 12 times for 94. Christie back for the Giants. This will only be the second kickoff they have had. As we resume play here, and that's a run back of 14 yards. 1st and 10 at the 14. Here come the Giants. And Barber picks up 9. This New York team is going to be very tough to beat. Not undoable, especially in the HTFL where you got a lot of good teams and you got the best players of all time playing. But this New York team, when you combine the Giants, the Jets, and some of the old school players, they got quite a little collaboration here. 2nd and 1 at the 23 to Snell, Matt Snell, the 60s Jets, tackled at the line by J.J. Watt. 3rd and 1, ball at 23 to Barber, and he's stuffed at the line. Williams brought him down, no gain. Looks like Rich Caster's going to need a breather, but the punting team will come on. And we'll set the particulars on all of that when we return. Younts who is also playing an offensive line spot, was in punting formation, and that's a nice kick of 51 yards. Van Pelt makes the tackle on White Shoes Johnson, Billy White Shoes Johnson, after a gain of 10, moved the ball to the 36 for a 1st and 10. I think Houston's going to have to open it up here, trailing by 21, and they will do exactly that. Medium fly pass to Owen Daniels. That's caught, and that's a first, 18 yards. Patton brought him down. We'll take advantage of Earl Campbell here, see if the running lanes open up for him, and he gains 5. And once again, he has crossed the 100-yard rushing plateau for a game. 2nd and 5. Let's look at Campbell and see how many 100-yard games he has so far. Look at the game logs. This will be his 3rd straight 100-yard running game. He only ran for 83 against New Orleans in the 52-35 loss, but ran for 124 against Green Bay in a losing effort, and then ran wild against Jacksonville for a $136. 2nd and 5, we'll go Hennigan, medium hitch. Moon's going to run, and Warren Moon gains 10 yards. Haynes on the tackle. And now you got a 1st and 10 at the 31. We'll go Cannon, screen pass. Billy Cannon out of Louisiana State. Everybody's All-American. They say that movie was patterned after the life of Billy Cannon. The Gray Ghost, as they called him in the movie. Dennis Quaid was in that with Jessica Lange and John Goodman. Incomplete. No catch. And it'll now be a 2nd and 10. They'll bring the 3 wides back in the game. Houston will, and go to Johnson on a medium hitch. Instead, it's a dump off to Campbell, who gains 7. Sam Huff, in his violent world, brings him down. 3rd and 3. 4 wide in the game for Houston. They're not playing around now. They'll go to Drew Hill on a short slant. Incomplete.
Holding, offense.
And a holding penalty.
Number 63, 10-yard penalty.
Would have nullified any gain, which will be declined. And down 28-7 with 9:30 left in the 3rd quarter. A little early, so they'll bring Del Greco on to try a 41-yarder, which is good, but hold on.
Offense, 10-yard penalty.
We'll come back. Matthews called for holding. And it's now going to be 4th and 13 at the 31. Less than 50-50 odds now of hitting the field goal. So Norton will come on and punt. Touchback. 1st and 10 for the Giants at their own 20. Should have pooched it. Houston should have pooched it. My error. 1st and 10 at the 20. Here's Manning. He throws deep, and he finds Bishop. No, I'm sorry, not Bishop, but Jack Russell. And Manning, red hot, 14 for 15, 217 yards yet. Only 1 incompletion so far. 1st and 10 at the 38 to Barber. Barber with a gain of 2. Curly Culp on the tackle for Houston. 2nd and 8, ball at the 40 now. To Snell. Snell does not gain a darn thing. 3rd and 8, ball at the 40. Houston goes to a nickel package as New York brings in 3 wides. Manning with time. He's got Sauer, and Sauer picks up 9, and that's good for the 1st. And Manning stays red hot, 15 for 16 now. 1st and 10, 49-yard line of the Giants. They're 51 yards away from another score. Barber incomplete. And we haven't said that too often about Eli Manning today. So that's his 2nd incompletion of the day. And we're more than midway through the 3rd quarter. 2nd and 10, ball at the 49. Still. Barber on a draw. He gains 3. Ryans makes the stop. We now make it 3rd and 7 at the Oiler 48. End around. Short of the 1st is Sauer. He gains 4. Robertson was hurt and will be out a few plays. We'll watch for the fake here on 4th and 3 for the 44. Prime real estate to run a fake, and that's only a punt of 30 yards for Younts. away from Billy White Shoes Johnson, and Houston starts at their own 14 with 5:35 left. 4 wide in the game for Houston. Medium out to DeAndre Hopkins. That is caught by Johnson for 6 yards. Revis angles him out of bounds. So Houston going to do a lot of throwing here, I would think. Owen Daniel, short hitch. That's caught. Quick hitter to Daniels, gains 11. 3 wide now in the game for Houston. They'll go to Hopkins on a short slant. Instead, it's a long throw, and it's caught by Daniels, who gains 29. Patton on the stop for the Giants. 3:53 left, 1st and 10. They'll bring Earl Campbell in, and he will run for 7 yards, and that gives him 109 on the day, 109 yards. Back to the 3 wide out set. Campbell on a screen. He has 1 catch so far in the day, and now he's got 2, and he's got running room, a pickup of 20. That's one guy you would not want to face in the flat. That's Earl Campbell. 1st and 10 at the 13. We have 2:17 now left in the 3rd quarter. We'll go to Johnson, short slant. Touchdown. Not a touchdown. What am I thinking there? It went through the hands of Johnson. Thought it would be a touchdown if he had caught it, but that was not the case. My error. 2nd and 10 at the 13 now. Short pass to Campbell. That was the intended play. Instead, Glenn's got a pick. Spec Sanders came in and hit Moon as he threw, and it was intercepted by Glenn, intended for Hannigan at the 2-yard line, and that is where the ball wound up. No return. And the Giants get it back again. They're 98 yards away from the Houston goal, a $1:28 on the clock. Snell for 5. Hicks on the stop. 1:22 left in the 3rd. 2nd and 5 from the 7. Houston got that opening score, and they've been stymied ever since. This time a gain of 4 from Barber. Watt makes the stop. 3rd and a yard. Ball at the 11. And that'll be the end of the 3rd quarter. It's still 28-7 New York. Back with you to start the 4th quarter. 3rd and 1. Ball at the 11. 15 more minutes of this game. Giants looking like they'll go 4-0 on the year. Join Washington as the only undefeated teams. Carolina came into week 4 undefeated, but they got beat by New England. No gain on that play. Barber, a dive. Bishop on the stop. Houston will set up for the return here as they desperately try to get something going. White Shoes Johnson makes the fair catch at the 42 after a punt of 47 yards by Younts. They'll go Hannigan, short slant, 1st and 10. A marker down before the play.
Encroachment, defense. Number 56, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 1st down.
This time they get the great Lawrence Taylor for encroachment. LT costs his team 5. It'll be 1st and 5, Houston. They'll go to Campbell, trap right. And Campbell chugs straight ahead, gains 6 yards. Haynes on the tackle for New York. As I take a swig of water. 1st and 10. Ball at the Giant 47. Houston needs to make something happen, and soon. Johnson, medium pass. And a gain of 16. I nearly said 18. That would have been 2 yards incorrect. To Johnson, Andre Johnson. Revis makes the tackle. Move the ball to the 31. For this 1st and 10 play, we'll go a long fly to Andre Johnson. Go right back to him. Moon's going to run out of the pocket. He gains a yard before Michael Strahan catches him. And that's scoring Moon. How did it feel to be tackled by me? Campbell, screen pass, 2nd and 9. Campbell's got another catch and another nice run after the catch, this time for 19 yards. He has been a one-man wrecking machine for Houston so far with 161 total yards when you add his running and receiving yards. Ball at the 11, 1st and 10. Hitch to Hopkins, short hitch. But it is caught by Hopkins. He gains 4 yards. Glenn on the tackle. We'll go to Campbell on a trap right. Touchdown, Earl Campbell. His second of the day. And with 10:24 left, Houston can cut it to 14. Here's the point after try by Del Greco. It's good. 28-14. Can Houston summon a little late game magic here? They'll kick deep to Christie. He takes it a little in front of the 5-yard line. At the 6, he gains 19 to the 25. And this is where the Houston players are trying to pump up the Houston crowd. 1st and 10, ball to 25. Incomplete. Manning was looking for Beckham Jr., far dived and nearly had a pick. And the Houston players waving and just gesticulating at the crowd saying, let's go, let's go. 2nd down and 10 at the 25. Long throw, incomplete. Reinfeld injured on the play. His return is probable, and they will bring Pollard in to replace him at free safety and Robertson in as the 5th defensive back. 3rd and 10, ball to 25. Crowd chanting, defense, defense. Manning's going to run here. Short of the 1st. He gains 6, and that's all. Robertson, who came in as the nickelback on the play, makes the tackle. So now Houston's going to get the ball back, barring anything funny here. Johnson takes it at about the 25, but he's got a nice return. But you got a fumble on the play, I think. We'll just have to wait for the animation here. And Mangold gets it back for the Giants, and that's a crucial blow. The return was for the 13 yards. And so the net was 32, so the Giants retain possession after the punt and turnover. 32 yards downfield. They're at the Houston 37. You got 9:10 left to go in the game. The give to Barber. Barber will pick up a yard, and that's all. 2nd and 9. Ball to 36. To Snell again, and that is the 7th carry of the game for Snell. He gains 9. Otto Schnellbacher is going to come in and be a second tight end on this formation. 3rd and inches at the 27. To Barber. Barber does not get the first. It's a 1-yard loss. Barrels in and makes the stop. 4th and 1 at the 28. Nugent will come on and try one from 45 yards right down the middle. And it's 31-14 with 6:44 to go. Levias back deep. And he will return it 1 yard deep from the end zone. See how far he gets upfield. And the answer is to the 20. He returns at 21 yards. Hopkins, medium out. Houston needs scores and needs scores quick. They gain 5 there. Campbell on a screen on 2nd and 5. A slowly developing play picked off. Lawrence Taylor with his first interception of the year. And that's a big one there. 5:42 left, and now the Giants have it at the Houston 24. They lead by 17. See what happens here. They go to Snell. Snell will pick up 2 yards. Williams on the stop. 2nd and 8. They give to Barber. Barber's going to lose a yard. J.J. Watt makes the tackle. 3rd and 9 now at the 23. To Barber. Barber's got a first down and more. 15 yards. And Eli Manning's superb day continuing. 16 for 20. 241 yards. He's got 3 touchdowns throwing it. 1st and goal at the 8. They give to Snell. Snell close to the goal. 1 yard line. Gain of 7 before Ryans brought him down. 3:15 left to go in the game. It's second and goal. Houston should start thinking about calling their timeouts. Barber, no gain. And in fact, the Houston's going to burn one here. First timeout either team has used in the second half. They will have 2 left. The Giants have all 3. Third and goal, 1-yard line. To Barber. He's short. No gain. Webster makes the tackle. Again, Houston will burn a timeout. But Nugent with a chip shot here of 18 yards. Good. And it's 34-14. And the Houston fans coming to the realization that their team's going to start 1-3 on the year. Levias back deep again for Houston, and he will again return it. They're trying desperately to make something happen here. He goes out to the 18, a return of 19. 2:11 left. They're not going to risk Warren Moon the rest of the game. And if I could get him here. I will put in, let's see, who do I put in here? Decisions. George Blanda. George Blanda, who was more noted for playing with the Oakland Raiders in the early 70s and was a bit of it was kind of like Tim Tebow before Tim Tebow. They would bring him in off the bench, and he would drive his team to come back either wins or ties. Remember, they didn't have overtime in the NFL until, in regular season games, until 74. And they're going to go to Hopkins on a medium fly under the base formation. Blanda, incomplete, but a marker.
Pass interference, defense. Number 31, automatic, first down.
That's Glenn. They get for pass interference. Blanda was a great quarterback and could also kick. And that's why they always seem to bring him in late to kind of fire up the Oakland Raiders. And I believe he played well into his 40s as a quarterback, and you don't see that too often. Although if Tom Brady stays around long enough, he might rival George Blanda for his longevity. Long fly to Andre Johnson. Sack, Gastineau brings him down, and we're at the 2-minute warning. And I'm sure the Houston fans are kind of wishing this would end quickly. They trail by 20, 34-14. Second and 18, ball to 27. Medium out to Andre Johnson. Blanda's got an arm on him. He throws it to Hennigan underneath for a gain of 11. They get out of bounds. Glenn made the tackle. 3rd and 7. I'm sure Houston will go for it if they don't get it. Short hitch, Andre Johnson. That's caught, and that's a first down. 1 timeout left for Houston. They go quickly to the line, go to a no huddle. They will go to Hill on a short out. That's off the hands of Hill. He juggled it, couldn't hold on. 2nd and 10, ball at the 48 with 1:16 to go. Hopkins, medium fly. Blanda back deep. And he's got Hopkins, but we'll check the marker.
Holding, offense.
Oh, it's coming back.
Number 74, 10-yard penalty.
Bring it back 10. It'll be 2nd and 20 at the 38. Hennigan, medium fly. Incomplete. In his short stint in the game so far, Blanda is 2 for 4, 21 yards. They'll go Hopkins, medium slant. But New York playing back, as well they should. A gain of 12 there for Hopkins on the Blanda pass. Haynes brought him down. Houston's going to use their last timeout. And on 4th and 8, they got nothing to lose going long. They're going to bomb it out to Hennigan. There's the long throw. Incomplete, but we have a marker.
Defense, number 99, 5-yard penalty.
Make it 4th and 3. And again, they will go deep, this time to Hopkins. Nothing to lose here for Houston. Incomplete. The Giants are going to get it back on downs at the 45 with 44 seconds left. Houston's got no timeouts, and Manning will take 2 knees and get on out of here. Your final, the Giants 34, Houston 14. So what started out well for Houston turned into a nightmare for them. We'll take a look at the team stats first. 378 total yards for the Giants, 355 for Houston. New York went to the red zone 3 times, scored on all possessions, 2 touchdowns, a field goal. Houston went 2 out of 3, both of their 2 were touchdowns. Both teams 4 out of 10 on third down. Both teams, there was 4 seconds difference in the time of possessions. New York had 4 runs of more than 10 yards. Houston had 3. New York had 2 catches of more than 25 yards. Houston had 1. Houston committed 3 turnovers, and that really stung them. Both teams committed 5 penalties for about equal yardage. Both teams about ran the same plays, 53 for New York, 57 for Houston. And that's how it ended, 34-14, I should say. And like I said, New York had a 28-point outburst in the first and second quarter. Campbell came back, got his second touchdown, and then Mike Nugent with a couple of field goals. Player stat-wise, Manning's 156.5 rating stands out, as does Earl Campbell's 18 carries for 122 yards. I would think Manning would be the player of the game, and we'll check that in a moment. Look at the standings as the computer will register New York's win and Houston's loss. New York now 2 games clear of Philadelphia and New England. Houston will be at least a game behind New Orleans, and if New Orleans wins their Week 4 game, they will be 2 behind. New Orleans seems to be the class of the lower South right now. And we look at the summary. Yeah, Campbell got the game ball, according to Dave Koch and his fine computer program, which we are using for these games. 122 yards for Campbell on 18 rushes. He also caught 3 for 46 yards. The next 3 stops on this Week 4 mystery tour, you got Green Bay and Tennessee. Green Bay going to Nashville. Then we go to New Orleans as Denver comes into town. Then Indianapolis will travel to San Francisco to take on the Gold Raiders, a combination of the 49ers and Raiders. And then not too many more games after that in Week 4. Chicago goes to Los Angeles, and the Monday night game will be the unplugged game, since we have 2 teams with losing records. Detroit traveling to Dallas. Again, your final today, 34-13. New York going to 4-0, joining Washington as the only undefeated teams in the HTFL right now, over Houston. This has been Big Paulie. Hope you enjoyed today's game. God bless wherever you are, whenever you see this. And we'll catch you again soon. Bye-bye for now, everybody.